All right, welcome to our October user group. And as you just heard, we are recording this session and we will make it available on our YouTube channel later to watch or just share with anybody who couldn't make it this morning. Today is our online version. Tomorrow we will have the in-person version in the Houston branch. So if you're in that, if you're in the Houston area, you can go and see it live and in person tomorrow. To our October set topic will be Automation Fair preview. So Automation Fair is coming up close within a few weeks. So we'll give a little update on what to expect at Automation Fair and a couple of teasers of new products that are coming that'll both be shown at Automation Fair and coming in 2023. So first we'll just show our our year so far. It should be noted that today is our final user group of the year, since we have Automation Fair in November, and then December is always a time of year where everybody is catching up on their vacation days. This will be our final user group, as well as I don't think we have any tech talks scheduled past what we did in September as well. So this will be our final seminar for 2022. We can also say that this could very well be our last user group ever, because we might actually give it a new name in 2023 just to give it a little bit of a fresh feel. So just a teaser. So we'll talk more about that as we get into the new year. If you missed any sessions in the past, they're all available on our YouTube channel. Links are all here in this slide, but you can also go to YouTube and search for the Reynolds Company, and you can find all of our videos there as well. This is just a link to our website, reynoldsonline.com. So again, this will be where you can also go and find all of our content, blogs, podcasts, videos, any other news, and training and other events. So just keep an eye on this page for anything new from the Reynolds Company. So today we have myself, Wayne Welk, automation specialist out of the Reynolds Company in New Orleans, and David Newt, business development, process business development lead out of Houston. We'll take today's presentation and just kind of go over again what to expect at Automation Fair. So first, just Automation Fair is next month, November 16th and 17th, and it is in Chicago this year. The Reynolds Company is offering a hotel package. We have a corporate hotel that you can stay with us in that package. You're obviously free to do your own travel and hotel arrangements, of course, but if you stay with us, you can have one hotel where all be together, and we'll also have a special event for anybody who's on our hotel package. The deadline to do that is October 31st, so just a short period away. You can go to the reynoldsonline.com/automation fair for any additional information on that hotel package. And Automation Fair, if you're not familiar with it or haven't been before, it is a very large event. It's Rockwell's largest event of the year to interact with all the Rockwell product managers. Of course, all the distributor technical people are usually there, and of course, customers from all around the world. And the event includes hands-on labs, product and technology sessions, industry forums, and of course, the expo show floor, which is always like one of the highlights of the show. If you do come to if you do stay with the Reynolds hotel package, then we do have the event, hospitality event on that Wednesday night. This has been a tradition, going on forever. So it is a combined hospitality event with both Midcoast, the Reynolds Company, and Mac and Mac. So it's a very large event, and we have many sponsors for that event. So it will be at Pinstripe. So if anybody who was at the Chicago show last time, that's where we did our event as well. It was a really cool venue, it was like multi-floors or multi-levels, and all kinds of different sporting activities and stuff. Bowling alley, of course, in there. So it was a really nice place to gather for that night. And again, to be in that, you need to be with our hotel package. Now, we always talk about Automation Fair, but we tend to never mention PSUG, Process Solution Users Group. That's always the first 2 days of that week. And that's going to be on November the 14th and 15th, the Monday and Tuesday of that week, and also in Chicago. The PSUG, there is a cost to attend PSUG, but the early bird registration is still going on to the end of October. So if you have not registered and want to go, if you do it before the end of October, it'll be $399 to attend. Afterwards, it goes up to about $599. So PSUG is a technical seminar with technical sessions, labs, customer application stories, roundtable discussions, keynotes. So it's a really great event for that process. You know, if you're in that process market, or if you're in that, you know, using PlantPX, then the event is definitely geared for you. They also are doing a social event on the Monday night, and it's also at Pinstripes, the same place that we'll be at. So here's actually a picture of what it looks like. So so again, if you're part of PSUG, there'll be a social event that Monday night as well for you. A little bit more on the solution group or PSUG. You know, again, roundtable discussions, hear from leaders across, you know, the business and industry. Customer-led sessions, which I think are always the more unique part of PSUG is having actual real customers who use PlantPX talk about how they implemented their systems or some of the solutions they solved with PlantPX. Product and technology sessions, of course, you know, getting hearing right from the product managers on, you know, new solutions, new things coming out, as well as some hands-on labs. And a keynote presentation, which are always usually pretty informative as well. So this, you know, I'm not going to read through all these, but these are the sessions available, the labs available. These are all, of course, published on the Rockwell's website under Automation Fair in the PSUG section. So if you are interested in attending, register soon and reserve any of the technical sessions and labs that you are interested in sitting in. Then on to Automation Fair. So so Wednesday and Thursday, the traditional time slot for Automation Fair, same applies this year. So Wednesday the 16th and the 17th is Automation Fair again in Chicago. So you know, Automation Fair also has its own industry forums. So a larger, more diverse offering than PSUG. So, you know, if you are an end user or an SI serving in these end user spaces, you can, you know, attend these industry forums and again, hear from the industry leaders and people who are solving, you know, solving any problems, solutions within those industry spaces, and kind of hear it from them in these forums. So again, they touch almost everything that we see. So if there's interest there, attend the industry forums. So the one kind of, I guess, big difference this year from Automation Fairs in the past is that Rockwell has put everything into one booth. Let me get back to my laser pointer actually. So in previous Automation Fairs, you know, a lot of the Rockwell kind of solutions and products were kind of scattered across the showroom floor, the expo floor. The idea this year is kind of consolidate everything into one giant booth. So part of the idea there is to kind of show kind of data coming from the plant floor. You know, kind of at one end of the booth is kind of all the sensors and the, you know, the you know, push buttons, you know, sensors from the components team, the IO products, you know, such as remote IO products, and kind of how everything kind of gets, you know, comes from the plant floor and into the IO and then into the controllers and then HMI level, and then going on up into the analytics and enterprise levels. So you can really kind of follow the I guess the Purdue model, almost in real life in this booth. So I think it's an interesting approach. Should be kind of unique, and again, give you everything in one spot versus having to kind of go from various parts of the showroom floor. The rest of the expo floor will be the partners, as always. The partner booths are always just as engaging and informative as the Rockwell booths. There is still an innovations booth, and there still is an industry pavilion, which we'll talk about, again, all the various industries, and we'll show you a picture of those in a minute. Yep, so the services showcase as well. Basically, power, smart devices, motion and robotics, plant PX. So technology and services highlighted here. And if there's some interest in talking, in more detail about some of this stuff, there will be a special little kind of meeting space there on the side. So if there's some interest in this, let us know sooner, so we can kind of schedule that meeting space if you want to talk to some of the product managers while you're there. Also, the going into the more in the booth, consumer package, pulp and paper. So again, this is the industry section, that industry breakout section that we showed kind of in the middle. So again, if you want to talk more industry focused stuff, all those experts will be sitting in this area to engage with. And the last one to highlight is the innovations booth, and this is the area where they usually have the egg chairs and the VR headsets to try on and sit in a chair. And then of course this is really more of a booth about kind of the future, kind of what are some of the future products, future solutions, and just kind of the future trends that Rockwell sees. So it's always an interesting booth to go into. And with that, I think that is it for the show floor stuff. Now I'll turn it over to David to kind of highlight on some of the new products that will be highlighted at Automation Fair this year. Take it away, David.
All right, thanks, Wayne. That was a good preview of physically what to see and a little bit background. What I'm going to talk about now is a little more of what some of the technical aspects. If I can get here and start moving this, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go over kind of the highlights of what we feel are some of the new things that you'll be able to see at Automation Fair that that you haven't seen here locally, because a lot of the stuff is new and or will be introduced either at the show or a little bit after the show. So I'm going to go through these, a lot of software and some hardware, new things to look for. So the first thing I want to talk about is ThinManager. So ThinManager version 13 is just come out. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with ThinManager basically manages the deployment of content out to your devices, so industrial applications. So you can have information or content from servers, from panel views, IP cameras, various web content, and then through the management of ThinManager, then all that information can be thrust out to your client devices. And you can also so ThinManager manages the devices, but it also manages the content through user logins and locations if you so choose to do that. So that's where you see a lot of the value within ThinManager. And so that's been the case. That's been ThinManager's design for a long time. With what's new in 13 is they've created this new event engine that can go along with delivery aspect of devices, users, and locations. So so I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work. I haven't really had a chance to see that yet. So that's going to be one of those things that I learn along with the customers. So looking forward to that. And the other thing that's part of Thursday 13 is something new that Rockwell is calling Logix PinPoint. And so this is pretty interesting. So the idea behind PinPoint is sort of, I guess I'm thinking maybe it'll be sort of like the breadcrumbs in the HMI, but you'll be able to look at alarms. So you'll be able to link from the alarm that's being displayed via ThinManager. Maybe that's a VUSE alarm, or maybe that's an alarm in a panel view. You'll be able to somehow trace back the triggers within the Logix code. And so anyway, I haven't seen that yet, or I guess it's VUSE. It's not panel view. Sorry about that. But from if you see an alarm in VUSE, you'll be able to kind of trace that back and easily find the trigger within Logix. So I can see a lot of benefits to that. One would be troubleshooting, obviously, but also that would help maybe on a training system as well, to help new employees, new operators, and new maintenance technicians understand the code a little bit better. So that's kind of ThinManager. So looking forward to that. Shifting gears a little bit, one of Rockwell's really large emphasis in the last year has been the very beginning of introducing what they call FactoryTalk Hub, which is Rockwell's cloud environment. And so there's a lot going on there. There's a lot that's been going on behind the scenes within Rockwell in building this out. And so you're going to see a lot of FactoryTalk Design Hub and FactoryTalk Hub for that matter. So a little bit of background. So the FactoryTalk Design Hub is the design side of Rockwell's cloud implementation. And so that, I believe that was the initial tool within FactoryTalk Design Hub was released, I think, at the last automation fair, called FactoryTalk Vault. So that's been around for a while. There's subsequently now a number of other tools, other applications that Rockwell's planning on releasing within the Factory Design Hub. So a little bit more about the hub ecosystem. So what does this build up? So essentially, and this, I think I need to preface this a little bit. The Design Hub is not replacing anything. This is an additive functionality and features set that Rockwell is developing. So the design tools that you use today, whether that's Studio 5000 or Connected Components Workbench or others, those aren't going anywhere. In fact, they will probably be incorporated somehow in the hub in the future. But the hub is really sort of the long-term look at direction that Rockwell is going in enabling the cloud within the industrial application space. And so last year Rockwell introduced the FactoryTalk Vault. Earlier this year, Rockwell introduced the remote access, and we'll talk about those. The Vault and the remote access are kind of the foundational aspects of the Design Hub. And then, so now, present tense, Rockwell will be introducing 3 new applications that will sit inside the Design Hub that you'll be able to see in Automation Fair. So which is the Design Studio, Optics Studio, and the Twin Studio. And really, the idea behind this is you can kind of probably realize designing in the hub really has a potential to increase your productivity quite a bit. We'll talk about what the Vault can do. You can scale a lot better, and then of course reducing the cost in some of the tools that you would have to have otherwise if you weren't doing things through the cloud. So there's a lot of business drivers behind building out this cloud, and some industries are going to be quicker to adopt than others. We understand that. And so some of our larger industries here in our region are probably not going to jump into the hub right away, but just we want everybody to know that this is being built out, and for all industries. And so we know some industries are going to adopt quicker than others. So let's talk about the FactoryTalk Vault a little bit. So that, again, this was introduced, I think, about a year ago. So the idea with the Vault is a cloud-based file repository. And so instead of having to store your say your Studio 5000 or your design files, ACD files, etc. Instead of having to store that on your own server or backing up somehow, whether you're backing up through your own maybe cloud device, maybe you have a Google Cloud or a iCloud or whatever you have. FactoryTalk Vault would be a Rockwell-based tool to do that. And so there's a couple of really nice things that the FactoryTalk Vault can do that you won't be able to do on your own cloud. One of those is related to version control and also upgrades. So within the FactoryTalk Vault, you can upload your version 20 program, and you'll be able to store. So that will be available to you for version control. If you change the version, you can keep uploading different versions up to the Vault. It also allows you to easily upgrade those. So if you uploaded a version 20 application and you want to convert it to 24, you can do that in the Vault, and you don't have to do that on a laptop or on an engineering station. So the ease of doing that upgrade is much better in the Vault than it would be on your own. On your own, you've got to install different versions of Studio 5000 and do all that kind of stuff and manage all that. Whereas in the Vault, kind of all the Studio 5000 versions are already there. So all you have to do is just focus on your upgrade. So to me, that alone is enough reason to look at FactoryTalk Vault. But this is one of the foundational applications that runs inside of FactoryTalk Design Hub. So one thing, so Design Studio is a new application, and that will be releasing along at the same time as Automation Fair. And so I really haven't seen this yet, but this is what you would think it is. This is a cloud native design tool that will program multiple controllers. It's multi-user, modern interface, etc. And again, this is not replacing Studio 5000. This is added. This is an additive, and so I hope to learn a lot more about this tool at the show. They will have it available to look at and to learn more about. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Design Studio. Another new, really a whole new platform that Rockwell will be releasing hopefully at the end of this year. It's called FactoryTalk Optics. There may be a few of you on the call that have heard of this before. Rockwell talked about this, I think, during Rock Live. So anyone that went to Rock Live may have seen a preview of Optics. Optics is a new HMI platform, and so it's an open scalable platform. It's cloud enabled, as you can see from the little graphic there, and it's very scalable. So cloud enablement, the studio or the development of Optics can be done in the cloud. You can also download the software and run it locally as well. But it is inherently designed for the cloud. And you can deploy optics from the cloud directly to runtime systems, or if you don't want to do that, you can also deploy locally like you would traditional HMI. Optics is OPC UA at its core. So optics was a technology that Rockwell purchased from a company called ASEM or Awesome. So it has been out in the industry for a number of years under a different name. Rockwell is sort of Rockwellizing it in the last probably 18 months and is set to release hopefully at the end of this year. So it's really scaled. It's a little bit about the scalability. So you can take the same application and develop and deploy it on, say, a panel. It supports Linux and Windows OSs. So you can deploy it on a panel, you can deploy it on a PC workstation, or you can deploy it as a distributed architecture. So it's very flexible. It's got IoT connectivity at its core through OPC UA. So it's an additive technology. There's optics is not replacing anything that currently exists in the Rockwell portfolio. So ViewSE is still fully supported and long-term. ViewME is still around. This is again an additive technology that Rockwell is adding to its portfolio. So really looking forward to taking a little deeper dive into optics at the show. Twin Studio is an emulation capability type of application. So Twin Studio takes a lot of the technology that exists in Emulate 3D and also Arena. Couple that with Logix Echo, the new L8 emulation tool, and then puts a lot of that stuff in the cloud. And so this is emulation really more on kind of physics-based emulation. So example would be conveyor systems or other types of systems that emulate 3D and Arena typically live in. So it's not really a process simulation tool. There's other tools for that. So this is and then Rockwell is going to call this Twin Studio. That will be released sometime next year. Remote access is another kind of key foundational part of the FactoryTalk Hub. So remote access really provides one of the probably what will be maybe a primary access between your edge devices and the FactoryTalk Hub cloud, whether that's for design purposes or other purposes. At least at this point, most of the products that Rockwell has released have been in the design hub, with future releases in the operate hub and the maintain hub. But so the remote access consists of two pieces. There's a hardware piece, which is a VPN router that would sit at the edge device. And then there's the FactoryTalk Remote Access Manager, which is the software that would sit in the cloud. And so what this does is using industry standards for cybersecurity, allows those edge devices to connect to the FactoryTalk Hub. So we understand there's other remote access tools out there, and we support and we've sold for a number of years. The FactoryTalk Remote Access is a little different than those other tools in that the FactoryTalk Remote Access provides the connectivity directly inside the FactoryTalk Hub. So it kind of encapsulates the Remote Access Manager is encapsulated inside the FactoryTalk Hub. So if you're looking at using the FactoryTalk Hub and utilizing a lot of its features, you really want to take a look at this FactoryTalk Remote Access solution. But it is a VPN technology, which will be used in a lot of applications, but not every application. So this is one option to connect the edge devices up to the FactoryTalk Hub. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears just for a little bit and talk about another piece of software, another that's part of FactoryTalk Hub that Rockwell will be releasing soon. It's not available yet. And this is called FactoryTalk Edge. And so the FactoryTalk Edge is really part of what Rockwell's calling the FactoryTalk Operations Hub. So this is more than just development. This is actually operating and using the cloud in an operational aspect. And so, what is Edge? Well, Edge is really a cloud managed centralized infrastructure that will link data coming from the edge to the FactoryTalk Hub for analysis, for data gathering, and really kind of a real-time type of system, real-time analysis, real-time data aggregation. So there's a lot to do with this, and I think what we'll probably next year, once this releases, we'll probably have a user group where we talk a little more detail about FactoryTalk Edge. But there's a lot to this, and so the pieces inside the edge that exist inside the FactoryTalk Hub, Rockwell will be releasing what they're calling now an Edge application marketplace. And so you can think about that as kind of like a app store that Rockwell will have available for Rockwell apps and also third-party apps that you'll be able to use inside of FactoryTalk Edge. Currently, the first application that's been developed that was released a little while ago is called FactoryTalk Edge Gateway, and so that's the Edge Gateway is right now one of the the application that you can use to aggregate data from an edge device up to the FactoryTalk Hub, but there will be others, and this is kind of an ongoing story that you'll see in some detail at the Automation Fair if you have a chance to stop by. So really interesting stuff. We're kind of learning about it along with you guys, but the one thing to know is there is security built into this. For those of you that are interested, there's a compliance security called SOC2 Type 2, and so Rockwell has been is certified compliant with that security standard, which applies to vendors that create edge cloud applications that then users use. So that's very kind of new stuff, but really interesting. So be sure to look for the FactoryTalk Edge booth at the Automation Fair. So let's talk about hardware for a little bit. So the Flex HA 5000 IO platform. If anyone that attended Automation Fair in Houston last year saw this or had the potential to see this was on display last year. Didn't get released in 2022, but we expect it to be released pretty soon. I don't have a date yet. The Flex HA will be standard or process IO as well as safety IO, full SIL3 safety IO for process applications. So this is, think of this as DCS IO. It also will have a built-in redundant architecture similar to what the 1715 has today. 1715 is SIL2 compliant with the Logix processor. So we're anticipating once the Flex HA gets built out that we will see SIL3 IO connected to Logix controllers as part of this solution. Not available yet, but that's kind of the roadmap that we see. So there's, it's similar to, so you can have a 48 or 96 channel. It's got we'll have support for high availability architectures, including parallel redundancy protocol, device level ring for the networks. You'll be able to have copper or fiber direct connects into the interfaces. It's going to have extended temperatures. One thing I didn't know until I saw this slide is this will support horizontal and vertical mounting, similar to the Flex 5000. So looking forward to this IO coming out. It's going to really help plant PAX systems going forward. So the Flex HA is an extension of the Flex 5000 portfolio. The Flex 5000 came out, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago. So the Flex 5000 is the same footprint as the original Flex, but it was a complete redesign, and it has safety IO, it has process IO, and it has fiber, it has SFP ports for the Ethernet interface, so you can go copper or fiber directly as well. So we're seeing this adopted a lot more now on newer systems, on newer process systems. Nice piece of hardware there. So to kind of summarize the hardware that you'll see, this is, I won't mention all of these, but these are all new hardware platforms or new or updated platforms that are going to be at the automation fair. So there's quite a bit of, on the left side, quite a bit of industrial control stuff there. Connectivity with GuardLink, some other things, IO-Link as well on the IC side. In the middle column there, you see a lot of the awesome computers will be on display. The Flex 5000 and HA. One thing that we don't have a slide for, but the Compute Module Series B will be out. Rockwell this year redesigned the Compute Module and added some functionality to it, added some additional Linux capabilities, enhanced it quite a bit. So that'll be there. It'll be interesting to look at. And on the right-hand side, the optics panel, so a graphic terminal will be there, and I'm looking forward to that. That will be part of the FactoryTalk optics rollout that we'll see. So you know, not only the software but also a bundled hardware graphic terminal that Rockwell is designing and will release soon. Will be at the fair. One thing I'll mention, just since it's on the screen, the Rockwell will be introducing a new Stratix switch next year called the Stratix 5200. So I will check that out as well. That will, without going into detail, that will replace the 5700. So we expect probably we'll see a lot of volume, a lot of interest in the Stratix 5200. We're going to save that conversation for another day in detail. But if you're at the fair, please look out for the 5200. And so software, as you can tell from this presentation, Rockwell's really focusing a lot on software and a lot on cloud. So you look at all the different cloud offerings. We mentioned the Design Studio, Optics and Edge today, and Vault and Remote Access and Twin Studio. Rockwell also has a cloud-based management software, CMMS software called Fix. So that's a cloud-based tool, pretty easy to implement. That is a full-featured CMMS offering. Rockwell also has a cloud-based MES system called Plex. And so Plex has a lot of different features, but it is a cloud-based system. So again, it's an additive technology. It does not replace Production Center, Rockwell's longtime full-featured MES system. So Plex will be on display. So that's the cloud stuff. The traditional software will be there as well. Studio 5000 version 35, I think will be released here shortly, probably around Automation Fair time. Version 2 of Logix Echo is coming out soon, so that will be on display. That's going to allow, I think, additional instances or additional chassis of Logix Echo to be implemented. So that'll be a good upgrade from version 1. Plant PAX version 5.2 is coming out, I think, at the same time as the Studio 5000 version 35, and a lot of other things as well. So before we leave, we wanted to talk a little bit about the technology partners that are available. So nearly all of Rockwell's technology partners will have a booth at Automation Fair. So that's an important part of Automation Fair, is to look at all the technology partners. Our presentation, we focus on a couple. The first one here is SciTech. And so SciTech has a product called XLReporter, which is a really great reporting tool. It's great for a couple of reasons. The main reason is all the different data sources you can pull data into and build reports on. So you can look at live data through PLCs. You can look at static data, whether that's data logs or CSV files. You can also pull information from databases and historians, including ViewSE, Historian SE, third-party databases like SQL Server and Oracle and all that stuff. So there's really nearly unlimited amount of data sources that you can communicate with using XLReporter. And then you can create reports using that data into web reports, or you can create Excel files or PDF files or create emails. So just a very flexible system. So customers that don't already have FactoryTalk Historian SE, it's probably a great, if you want to do any reporting, XLReporter is a really great option. And so they're a technology partner of Rockwell's. They'll be there. Be sure to stop by their booth. Panduit is also a big partner of Rockwell's, and so they'll be showing their panel tools, their control panel offering. One of the things that they're launching in January are a whole new set of cable entry systems. So there's a couple of pictures of them on the slide there. So I'm sure they'll have some of those things to look at. It's a little bit more detailed look at what the new Panduit cable entry systems look like. So a lot of time saving using stuff like this. So look for that. And there'll probably be 80 other technology partners there as well, like HMS and ProSoft and Spectrum and all those other vendors, Stratus, that you're used to hearing about from us. Okay, so Panduit, not only do they have control panel offerings, they also have electrical and network infrastructure products as well. UPS's industrial fiber, copper, et cetera. So a lot of Panduit's got a lot of stuff. So to kind of summarize, hopefully we'll see a lot of you at Automation Fair next month in Chicago, November 16th and 17th. So if you are interested in our hotel package, please reach out to an account manager. And if you don't have an account manager, reach out to one of your specialists, your local specialists, and we'll be more than happy to direct you to the hotel package. It's really a good way to go. We don't supply the airfare, but the hotel lodging, and the only way to get tickets to our hospitality event is to register with the hotel package. So I hope to see everybody there. I see a lot of chat. I don't know if there's any questions specifically that need to be addressed, but we'll take a look at those right now. I don't know if anybody else was looking at the questions. That looks like a lot of the chat's been responded to.
Yeah, no open questions as of right now. The other thing to look at on that slide is there is a promotion with Learning+. So anybody that attends Automation Fair, you can get 25% off. So I added a link so you guys can see it.
Yeah, thanks, Luis. Now that's a good thing. The Learning+ is the online learning from Rockwell, and then if you get a subscription, that's usually good for a year, so you can take those trainings on your own time. It's a good addition to the in-person learning training schedule that we have promoted on our Reynolds Online website. Okay, well, I guess if there's no other questions, I appreciate everybody's time today and look forward to seeing you next month at Automation Fair.